Breaking news from around your world on this Tuesday, May 21st, 2019. I'm Larry Rice. Hundreds of rallies are taking place across the United States Tuesday to oppose new momentum in recent weeks to overturn the Supreme Court's 46-year-old ruling that makes abortion legal in the U.S. Rallies in all 50 states and thousands of demonstrators were expected to turn out, likely for both sides, from California to New York. The American Civil Liberties Union and NARAL Pro-Choice America are two groups participating in the Stop the Bans rallies Tuesday. More than 250 events are planned, including one outside the U.S. Supreme Court. The run of new legislation is a concerted effort to overturn the High Court's landmark 1973 decision in Roe v. Wade. With a greater conservative majority on the bench, with the inclusion of Trump appointees Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh, abortion opponents hope the issue will again end up before the justices for a new landmark ruling that outlaws the practice. President Donald Trump has supported efforts to overturn abortion laws. Last weekend, he said he favors a total abortion ban with only 3 exceptions in cases of rape, incest, or when the mother's life is in danger. As those protests take place Tuesday, the United Nations Human Rights Office called on U.S. authorities Tuesday to ensure that women have access to safe abortions, saying bans lead to risky underground abortions that can endanger a woman's life. UN human rights spokeswoman Ravina Shamsdasani said evidence and experience have shown that complete bans on abortion do not reduce their number, but drive them underground, jeopardizing the life, health, and safety of the women concerned. She added such bans are also inherently discriminatory, affecting women who are poor, from minority backgrounds, or other marginalized communities. Authorities in New Zealand have charged Brenton Tarrant, the Australian man facing 50 murder charges over the March 15th massacre at 2 Christchurch mosques, with committing a terrorist act. A police spokesman said the decision to charge him under the Terrorism Suppression Act, which is rarely invoked, came after consultations between police officials and government lawyers. Both the murder and terrorism charges carry possible life sentences. Some legal experts warned that a terrorism trial could give Tarrant, a self-proclaimed white supremacist, a platform for his ideology. Bill Hodge, a University of Auckland law professor, told News Talk ZB, he will say, "I'm not a terrorist, I'm a patriot." Iranian President Hassan Rouhani rejected talks with the United States Tuesday after President Trump said Iran would call and ask for negotiations if and when they are ever ready. Tehran and Washington have escalated rhetoric against each other in recent weeks as the U.S. tightens sanctions with what it says is the goal of pushing Iran to make concessions beyond the terms of its 2015 nuclear deal. State news agency IRNA quoted Rouhani as saying, "Today's situation is not suitable for talks, and our choice is resistance only." Trump withdrew the United States a year ago from the deal between Iran and global powers, under which Tehran curbed its uranium enrichment capacity, a potential pathway to a nuclear bomb, and won sanctions relief in return. However, Trump restored U.S. sanctions on Iran last year and extended them this month, ordering all countries to halt imports of Iranian oil or face sanctions of their own. Iran has repeatedly rejected any further negotiations as long as the U.S. remains outside the nuclear pact. Rouhani won 2 landslide elections in Iran on promises to ease its international isolation. But Trump's decision to abandon the 2015 nuclear deal has helped ensure that Iranians have felt little or no economic benefit from Rouhani's policies. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell and Democrat Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia introduced a bipartisan bill Monday seeking to raise the national legal age to purchase tobacco. The bill, known as the Tobacco-Free Youth Act, would raise the legal age to purchase any tobacco product, including cigarettes, e-cigarettes, and vapor products, from 18 to 21. It does not include exceptions for military or other service members. Kaine said in a statement, "Raising the tobacco age to 21 is a critical part of our efforts to improve public health and keep tobacco products out of schools and away from our children. McConnell of Kentucky says he would make enacting the law one of his highest priorities, declaring youth vaping a public health crisis and citing statistics that 90% of adult smokers state they use their first tobacco product before turning 19. Both senators serve states with long histories of tobacco production and have previously introduced measures to limit the sale and public use of tobacco. As governor of Virginia, Kaine signed legislation banning smoking in bars, restaurants, state buildings, and vehicles, while McConnell noted he backed a tobacco buyback in Kentucky in 2004 and later advocated to allow farmers to grow hemp. 14 states and nearly 500 localities throughout the U.S. have already raised the minimum legal age to 21, and retailers including Walmart, Sam's Club, and Walgreens have also raised the age for tobacco sales. A Chinese airline is demanding compensation from Boeing for the grounding and delivery delay of the 737 MAX aircraft. China East Airlines claimed Tuesday that it has sustained losses because of the grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX 8 airplanes. State-run Chinese media Xinhua reports the airline did not disclose details in its letter of claim to Boeing. China Eastern, based in Shanghai, has not flown its 14 MAX jets since March, after China became one of the first countries to stop commercial operations of the jet after crashes of an Ethiopian Airlines flight in March and an Indonesia Lion Air crash in October, killing hundreds. Boeing has been working on a software fix to the current safety system that forced the plane into a steep dive that the pilots could not override to prevent a stall. The system was believed to be involved in both crashes. Airlines and national aviation agencies around the world grounded the 737 MAX until Boeing could make fixes and get clearance from the Federal Aviation Administration. Boeing has also stopped delivering new 737 MAX orders to customers and said it would slash production from 52 to 42 jets per month. Ford announced Monday that it would cut 7,000 white-collar jobs to reduce costs. The automaker said it would start notifying affected workers Tuesday. The cuts amount to about 10% of Ford's global salaried staff. The company expects to save about $600 million a year. About 2,400 of the eliminated jobs will be in North America. The cuts, announced in a letter from CEO Jim Hackett to employees, came as Ford executes a massive restructuring and spends $11 billion to remake its business in a bid to increase international sales and modernize its vehicle models. In November, General Motors announced that it was slashing 8,000 non-union jobs, amounting to about 15% of its salaried and contract employees. Niki Lauda, a three-time Formula One champion driver and one of the most popular personalities in racing, died late Monday, 8 months after a lung transplant. He was 70 years old. Lauda was seriously injured in an accident that left him severely burned in 1976. He won acclaim by returning to the track and winning championships again in 1977 and 1984. He retired permanently the following year, saying he needed more time to devote to his airline business. Initially a charter airline, Lauda Air expanded in the 1980s to offer flights to Asia and Australia. In May 1991, a Lauda Air Boeing 767 crashed in Thailand after one of its engine thrust reversers accidentally deployed in flight, killing all 213 passengers and 10 crew members. Lauda also remained involved in racing after his retirement, working as team chairman of Mercedes-AMG Petronas Motorsport. Lauda won 25 races over his career, winning world championships driving for Ferrari and McLaren. Lauda twice underwent kidney transplants, receiving an organ donated by his brother in 1997, and, when that stopped functioning as well, a kidney donated by his girlfriend in 2005. In August 2018, he underwent a lung transplant in Vienna. Lauda is survived by his second wife, Birgit, and their twin children, Max and Mia. He had 2 adult sons, Lucas and Matthias, from his first marriage. A Nepalese man who already holds the record for the number of successful climbs on Mount Everest says he'll do it one more time before he retires. Sherpa climber Cami Rita scaled the world's tallest mountain twice this month and set a new record with his most recent ascent Tuesday, his 24th. The 49-year-old man says he plans to make it an even 25 times before retiring. On the most recent trek, he took a group of Indian police officers up the Nepal side to the summit at 29,000 feet above sea level. They left Monday night and reached the top of the mountain early Tuesday. Rita said he will soon begin planning for his 25th climb. Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Tenzing Norgay were the first to climb Mount Everest in 1953, using a southeast route that Rita and other climbers still use today. So far this season, 75 climbers have reached the top of Everest. More than 380 permits have been issued for expeditions. And that's your update for this Tuesday, May 21st, 2019. I'm Larry Rice. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.